But actually, with the Monica situation, for me, it was a different situation. I changed always daycare, but the first one, what happened, when you take your child to daycare, there's that feeling you get. Like you feel, like you said, like you believe what they're doing and what they're saying. But there was a disconnect with the daycare that I took him first. I was not convinced. And every time I went, like the kids were always crying. And I was like, and they would like pretend like nothing is happening. I couldn't stand that. But always, luckily, my son wasn't crying a lot. He was a crying baby. But I couldn't understand how kids keep crying nonstop and they don't do nothing. But after a month, I really, there was a disconnect. I never felt good about it. I just stopped. I just took him out. I just felt it wasn't okay. They didn't do anything wrong, but I just didn't connect with them. And Kathy, did you have a negative experience, or was it a smooth road?
For me, for the crash, it was, I think the biggest problem I had is because I had to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the milk production went down very quickly.
Yeah.
So, of course, in the crash, they had to give powder milk.
Yeah.
And then what's happened there is she started getting those milk allergies.
Yeah.
She started getting very sick.
Yeah.
Every 2-3 weeks, she would come back from the crash with another sickness. If it was not diarrhea, it was some cough. If it's not cough, it's flu. If it's not flu,
and then they tell you it's normal.
Yeah. So that's the biggest issue I had, because she was always sick. And then the winter came and she was, I think, every week sick. That's the only problem I had with the crash. And of course, her allergies coming up. Otherwise, I would have wanted to stay longer to breastfeed and do all those things and take more care of my baby. But of course, with a working life, you can't do that. Yeah.
But crash and sickness go hand in hand.
Yeah.
There
are cycle, there are diseases there.
That's for sure. With flu and cough, it never stops. So, when do you, like, for me, going on crash and daycare and this, another big step for me was being able to leave like my son at home and go out and have fun. That was the biggest, like, for me, it was really difficult. For 1 year, I put him to bed every single day, like every single day. No one else has to put my baby to bed. And then that's when I was starting to getting used, like, to think, okay, I can go out, so I can do this. Lockdown came in and I was like, okay, so now it's 2 years down the road. I still put him to bed every single day myself. And I feel like it's very difficult. It's going to be difficult for me to like let someone else, if I have to be somewhere, let someone else put him to bed. So for you guys, at what age do you like go to do something or someone else puts your child to bed without feeling guilty? Emily, for you, how was it? Like, at what age do you say, okay, I don't care, I'm gone, I'm not home? I don't know.
Okay, when I was in Uganda, I had a maid.
Mm-hmm.
So putting the kid to bed was not a problem because sometimes I used to work at night. But the girl used to sleep with me every night. Mm-hmm. So I come here to Belgium. She was 4 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And my man was like, the girl has to go to bed alone. And I was like, she can't. She would go on the stairs, sit there, call me mommy. And I was like, oh my God. And I would just go. I don't want to annoy the guy. I don't want to hurt my baby. I was in a fix.
Yeah.
But I went step by step, trying to teach her, you have to do this, you have to do that, until she was 5 and a half. And I was like, young girl, you can't go home to bed alone.
Wow, 5 years.
Yeah.
So Priscilla, Monica, how was, like, at what age do you say, okay, I'm out, anyone, whoever is at home can put you to bed, I'm not, I'm not around, like, and
it's okay. Right from the beginning, I had no problem with it. I took any excuse I could to get out and dump the kids. Up to now.
Yeah, it's interesting how we are all like, yeah, different.
Up to
I'm
now,
still,
I mean, the father is there. It's a joint effort.
I know.
He goes fishing and leaves me with the kid. I can as well go to the cafe and leave him to do the rest.
For me,
So
that's for me. Like even when we are both at home and he says, I'll take the child to bed, he will take him, I'll follow. Really, I've said, did you like did you have him well?
That's when I'll get my glass of wine and rest.
I'm Priscilla. At what age, like, did you feel comfortable without feeling guilty and say, hey, I'm going out, or yeah, today is my day?
So as a first-time mother, of course, it took me years to let go, to do anything, to like go out there. Of course, you would crave, but you would go, but in 30 minutes you start checking your watch.
Yeah.
You start like pacing, like something is really wrong.
Yeah.
But as you get a second and third child, the situation changes.
Yeah.
And even for my third child, which is acting last born, thank you very much. So I couldn't stay away for so long until after she was 1 year. Now my job requires me to sometimes go to the field. You go up country maybe for days, and I could not go anywhere until she was 2 years old. At least when you have to go out, you know you cannot stay out there for more than 2 hours, and you rush back home to check on your child. When they're sleeping, you want to wake them up. Well, I didn't really tuck them in. When you start working, things change. But going away and you don't sleep in the house for a day, it took me 2 years for me to do that.
I'm thinking about that, like, when will I be able to go? I'm looking forward to the end of this lockdown so that I can go somewhere. I'm like, can I do it already? I don't know. To go away for a month.
So at work, they kept asking me, so there is this activity, you need to go, and I would find someone, train them to exactly do what I would have done in the field and send them. I would not go. They learned, and they stopped asking me after a year. They realized, okay, this one, been 6 months. Changing her mind. They just gave me the break until I was ready to go. And when you're away, you know you're not coming back. You want to check in every hour. It's like you're already guilty. I'm not going to be there at night. What are they going to think about in the morning when they wake up? I made sure that I'm the last person they talk to before they go to sleep. And I'm the first person they talk to when they wake up. Like, it's an obsession, really. Motherhood is an obsession.
Talk about obsession. Like, I literally put a camera in his bedroom. So that when he sleeps and we are not home, I check. And my parents are like, why are you always, he's sleeping, why are you checking on the camera? I'm like, to see if he's covered or if he's crying. I'm like, I'm obsessed, really. I think it's I don't know.
But you're not alone.
I'm really, I don't know what to do anymore.
Sometimes I wake up to go and cover them, see if they are
that I do it every night.
bedding of. You have less sleep, yet you have big kids. I mean, my youngest he has just turned 9, and I still do that.
Yeah. Kathy, how is it with you?
For me, I think from the beginning, we had to do everything in turns, me and the father. So I put her to bed tonight. He puts her to bed the next night. So we were in that routine of not me all the time.
Yeah.
And I think the first time that we really the first time that I really left her alone, I think she was around 9 months, and I had to go with my sister to Paris and to the Netherlands. She had come to visit. So I left her here with her father, and I think once in a while, of course, you're always, how is she? Is she doing okay? But because there's that routine of you have to take care of her today, the next day I was a bit more confident that she was in good hands. But of course, the step to just leave her was difficult. That's motherhood, I think.
I know. I think that's normal as motherhood.
It's so funny because I had to travel a lot for my work, like 1 week periods off.
Yeah.
And I use those periods to recharge because I just packed my bags and without any guilt ran off and
Yeah.
left it with the father and the grandfather. So now I'm feeling like such a shitty mom.
What? No, why? I
For
admire
not
that you
feeling
can
guilty
do
about
that.
leaving them.
No, but it's nice if you can do that, I think. Yeah, I
No,
mean,
but
yeah.
I think it's about being able to trust is a big word, but to be reassured that they'll be
Yeah.
fine. And in
Yeah.
my case, I knew the dad is capable of doing all that I'm able to do. And he had help from his dad, who would
Yeah.
also be around in terms of, just carrying and doing other stuff. But right from the start, I made it clear that they're not only my kids. I'm not going to break my back looking after them.
Wow, wow. That's a good one. But yeah, I
But
wish I could.
you
Yeah.
never get you always need reassurance. Like if I go out alone, I'm going to wonder, are they okay?
Yeah.
Calling and finding out, have they eaten? Have you done this and stuff? But in terms of taking me time off, I do that without any shame or guilt.
Wow.
So
I think it's healthy. It's very
Yeah,
healthy.
I think it's
If you're
I'm
able to do
worried
it,
already.
I mean,
Yeah, it's 2 years and lockdown is almost done, and yeah, we'll go back to normal life, and we go out evenings out a lot, and I'm like, oh, I have like to really train again to, like you said, reassurance and trust, and say, okay, he will be okay. I just have to train myself to be able to believe that. But yeah, that's why it is, eh? And now I'll go a little bit back during the first 2 years. Like there's one weird experience I went through, like, and I never knew it was weird until I came out of it. Like for me, it has taken me almost 2 years, like to feel myself again, to find my groove back, like to feel myself. And for you guys, how long did it take you, or were you immediately back in your old self?
what do you mean by that?
Like I'll give you for me, the first year is finding the balance of being a mother and giving my son time, and then my partner, and then the family in general, and that I forget to some extent, like what I love as me, like who I am and what I love. But then you don't realize when you're in that moment. But then after a year or a year and a half later, you feel yourself back, like, you feel you love yourself again, just like before. I don't know, it's weird, but I had that feeling. But I was happy in that moment, being a mother, I take care of my son and my family and everything. But somehow there was something I was missing, but I couldn't figure it out. But I think I was not myself yet again until after like a year and a half, and I felt just all of a sudden it was me again. Really, I had that feeling, but I don't know if you guys got that. Priscilla or Emily, Monica, I see you didn't have that. Priscilla, did you get that, or Emily?
I think I get your point. Like when you give birth, I've seen people who, after giving birth, they don't care. Everything is about the child. They will not get out of their pajamas. They're just taking care of the child. But and then as long as you're still home, you're all feeling puffy. Like when you just given birth, you're feeling puffy. You don't feel yourself. But what I do normally in the morning, once I finish taking a bath, I make sure I dress up nicely. My kids always ask me, "Mommy, where are you going?" Like, I'm going to work. You're going to work? You're going to office today? I'm like, no, no, no. I'm going to work from here. But you're all dressed up, and yes, like that's my way of probably dealing with or feeling good about myself. So even after giving birth, once you finish the shower, the morning showers, actually it happens even when I'm still in the hospital. You do your makeup if you must, or put a lipstick and all be nice. I mean, I think it makes you feel like, okay, I'm feeling good. I don't want to look at myself and look like I'm losing hope. It's about the child, but what about me? Now the thing is, when you start work, I think for most mothers, that's when you start finding yourself again. You're away from the isolation of you and the child and only the people you can get around in the house. You get back, you get to see your friends, you're talking about the people, you like your mind is diverting slowly. And I'm thinking that's how we find our groove back. The other thing that I did to try and find my groove back is to try and hang out with my friends. It started slowly, 1 hour maximum. You start thinking about it, it goes beyond, like you get used. But then that moment that you start going back to work, you know, you're in your heels, you're wearing your nice dress or skirt, and you're tucking in, and yes, you feel you're gaining your confidence back. You're forgetting that you used to be all fat and you know. Me, that's what I consider the time that we get our groove back.
Okay. And Emily, did you go through that phase, or it's
okay, for me it was after 1 month I had to go back and work. In Uganda then we didn't have that privilege of 3 months. So I went back after 1 month and I was I'm going to work. And you make an appointment, you go drink 1 or 2. It moves on, life moves on. The kid, motherhood.
I think in Africa is easy to
it was easy. Yes, and I had a trustworthy maid, so there was nothing to keep me back.
Wow. And Kathy, did it take you time to get your groove back, or you didn't go through that phase?
I don't even remember.
Hey, only 2 years ago. Maybe you didn't go through it, but for me, it took me some time, and especially when the clothes don't fit anymore, and then this, and then, and then you have to do shopping all over again. It was not easy, but it was. I can say that. I got it back after. It took me long, but I did. So.
I want to ask a question. Did any of you have a mission to get back in one of your outfits? You're fighting to get back in your outfits that you used to wear before you got pregnant. Well, I do keep 1 or 2 of those clothes normally on a mission to try and get back.
No, for me, it has taken me 2 years. Because always now 2 years and 2. So it has taken me 2 years. Now I can fit into all my old clothes, luckily. But it's a lot of work, trust me. You don't want to go there. So, but I do fit in all my clothes, most of them. It has taken me 2 years, 2 years to fit into them. So it's, I know it's not easy, but Monica, what would you want to tell us last? Like, you stay in your groove literally. You don't even go out of it. So for you, that's a challenge.
No, but I think I just had a different mindset. But like life has to continue. But one thing is, I used to think I'm a very patient person. I mean, I had lots of patience. Nothing could literally, nothing could like scare me or stuff. But after having kids, that's when I realized that I needed a whole new level of patience to deal with them.
I'll be calling you to ask now when things are, say, Monica, how do you deal with this very soon?
Like just yesterday, I had Jillian at home. Her daycare lady was closed, and I was trying to clean up, and then I leave her. She walks away to the kitchen, and I was, as usual, on my phone in the living room, and then it went so quiet. So I asked, Gigi, what are you doing? She didn't say anything. Gigi, what's happening? And then she mentioned something about milk and cooking. And I went to the kitchen, and she had literally got the milk and poured in the saucepan with old fat and was cooking. Wow. Good enough, she didn't turn it on. And yeah.
Wow.
What could I do? I just laughed at that. And
that's being a mother. Yeah, that's when you realize you actually have patience. Yeah. And yeah. It asks all kinds of qualities in us, motherhood. But it's special.
Yeah, so I try to take every day as it comes, and each kid separate and slow to anger, slow to yell, slow to everything, and just make sure I'm calm.
And to conclude, has lockdown and motherhood and work, have they like, how would you like sum that up? Like we are in lockdown and then we are mothers with kids and then work. Would you like put that in one word, like for you guys? Did you work from home, Catherine, at some point?
No, I have never worked from home.
And Monica, you work from home for a long time.
Yeah. So I already had the experience of working around kids.
So and Priscilla, how was it for you?
You said in one word. Maybe I thought of so many things. I said overwhelmingly interesting, bittersweet, or something. But I think
Monica, you
bittersweet
didn't
should
give
be
us
the
your
word.
one word: motherhood, working from home, and lockdown. If you can.
One word, it's what she said already, overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because I remember my professor, I had to have a meeting with him, and the kid was crying, and I was typing, holding the kid and having the meeting with him.
Wow.
And that was the best that we could do at that time. So I mean, it's important to it's good to separate all those facets of your life, but sometimes it just can't be separated, and you have to find a means of working around it or working together with it, because none of those things you cannot just put aside for a period of time. And if the kids have to be fed candy in order to give you some time alone, let them binge on ice cream as I work.
Okay, ladies, I really would like to thank everyone for making the time to be here to have this interesting chat. Maybe we'll have it another time for about motherhood, because there are other mothers who wanted to be with us, but they couldn't because of their roles of being mothers, I guess, most of them. So maybe we'll do it another time. But I would like to thank all of you. Thanks for being here, and please take care of yourselves. And from the Hakuna Matata, we say peace out. Bye-bye.